Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us at the Whitesboro Public Library Storytime. We have a story today that one of our puppets. Hi, everyone. Mortimer here. One of our puppets wants very much to introduce our story. He said this story is just almost about me. And me, and me. Don't forget me, Mika too, Mika, me. I'm here. I look funny here, don't I? You've never seen me here. Well, I'm here for a reason. Tell him, Mortimer, tell him. Okay. Minka's in my shell. I'm in his shell. I'm in his shell. I'm in his shell because the book that we're going to read today, Miss Laura's going to read it. I am going to read it, Minka. Yeah. Miss Laura's going to read it. It's about a snail. That's Mortimer. But the ants, that's me. You know, the ants have lots of energy, and of course, I have lots of energy. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Whitesboro Public Library Storytime. It's Minka and Mortimer. Hi. Okay, Mortimer. All right. Yeah. It's about the snails. And it's about a snail and ants. You know, ants. They've got lots of energy. And so do I. So we're gonna read a story about a snail and ants because you know what's coming up? Spring. Spring is coming up. Spring is coming up. It's gonna be here soon. And I like to eat. Yes, you do, Mortimer. You like to eat. And in this particular book, you're going to eat some cabbage, right? Yes. Okay. Well, we can't wait to get to the story. Oh, I can't wait to get to the story either. Okay, so I'm going to go, but notice in the story where the ants go because see, where am I? Where am I? Can you see where I am? Huh? Minka's in my shell. Yeah. I'm in the shell. And that's what happens in this story. Oh, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. Okay, Minka. Yeah, they're going to love it. I know they're going to love it. Okay, you guys. Thank you for introducing the story, Mortimer. And we will get started on our story. Has spring in it? Oh, yeah. Has spring. Oh, yeah. It's really cool. Enjoy the story. She has lots of energy there, Minka, doesn't she? So let's find out about that snail. A snail and some ants. Snail crossing. What's that on top of the snail? It's his house. It's his house. Just like Minka. I mean, just like Mortimer. It's his house. Oh, okay. Thank you, Minka. The snail carries his house with him. Corey Tabor is our author. Snail Crossing. It's a big book. So what do I always say with big books? Thank you for your patience. Okay. Can you see that? Those beautiful springish colors. Let me move myself over. I think I get over a little bit. There you go. Look at those beautiful spring colors. One lucky day, Snail was out scooting around when he saw a beautiful sight. What would be a beautiful sight for a snail? What do you think a beautiful sight would be for a snail? Well, in this case, that beautiful sight is a field of plump, crisp cabbage just across the road. See your little snail here? Here's the cabbage. Well, you won't stop me, Snail said to the road. Again, snail, road, cabbage. What else do you see in this picture that might stop that snail from getting to the cabbage? Yep, there's a car right there. There's a bird. Both of those things might keep that snail from getting to the cabbage. Snail had been scooting for some time when he decided to take a break. Can you see his little trail? Why, I must be almost there.
I don't think he's even halfway there. See, this is the middle of the road. He was watching the grumbling gray clouds when he felt something coming his way. Hmm, what is it, Snail? Couldn't say. Some things are too big and too fast to ponder. He felt it coming. What did we see that down the road? We saw that car, didn't we? Well, you won't stop me, said Snail. Snail was cabbage bound and nothing was going to stand in his way. Here's the car, here's Snail, and he's looking up. If you can see it, he's got some very determined eyes looking up at that car. What else do you see in that picture? Something tiny back there. Hey, you're standing in our way. We've got to get across the road here, yelled a crowd of rowdy ants. And they probably would have carried on if it had not started raining. Oh no. Ah, this one looks pretty scared, doesn't he? Those ants are just marching right on by that snail. Rain! Cried the ants. Rain! Help, help, help! Cabbage bound or not, Snail could not leave them out there. Snail, here are the ants. They look very troubled by all that rain. Come on in, said Snail. Come on in before you drown. Look at all those ants heading up into that little shell of that snail. I guess it's dark inside there. Look, you've got eyes. These must be the ants. That looks like our snail. Tea? Asked the snail. Oh, yes, please. Thank you. That would be lovely. Click. Where would you look at that? That really is that snail's house. He lives in that shell. Snail, tea, got the ants. We're sorry about earlier. Terribly sorry. Sometimes we just get antsy. Get it? We just get antsy, said the ants. I know the feeling, said Snail, and he told them all about the plump, crisp cabbage just across the road. Said the ants. When the rain stopped and the ants said thank you, thank you, thank you, and goodbye. Well, I hope you'll come back soon, said Snail. Count on it, said the ants, and they were off. Now, where was I? Thought the snail. Ah, yes, cabbage bound. Nothing could stand in my way. Again, he's got real determined eyes. Cabbage bound. And just when that snail started off for the cabbage again, uh-oh, he noticed something, and whoa, something dropped down right in front of him and said, lunch. Well, you won't eat me, said Snail. Can't you see I'm cabbage bound? Excessive maneuvers, excessive maneuvers, excessive maneuvers. The snail is just going in circles and circles and circles, trying to get away from that bird, that crow. And lo and behold, remember they're on a road. Honk, honk. And just like that, the hungry crow takes off. Snail was relieved, but also very dizzy. Look at all those evasive maneuvers. Cabbage bound, head in the clouds and feet on the ground. And off he goes to find that cabbage. And snail scooted and snail scooted and snail scooted, and poof, he reached the side of the road. He looked one way, he looked the other way. Thought, where's the cabbage? I crossed the road. Where's the cabbage? Oh, darn it. In the midst of getting away from that crow and all those circles, he got twisted and confused and lost, and he went back to the same side of the road. Here's the cabbage. He didn't get his cabbage. And as he was sitting there, he saw something coming. So here his little eyes, and he's looking. He sees something. And it got closer. He thought, could it be? And it got closer. Could it be? And then it was right on top of him, and he thought, cabbage! The cabbage came to me. How wonderful! Hooray, said the snail, hooray! Look who's bringing that cabbage. And they're singing a song too. Snail bound, we're snail bound, bringing that cabbage to the snail. How wonderful. Thank you, said the snail to the ants. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then the new friends went inside for cabbage soup and tea, and no one felt antsy anymore inside the shell. So I guess you're right, Minka. You can get inside that shell. Mortimer, do you have cabbage soup and tea in there? No. Oh, okay. Well, there's no cabbage soup or tea in Mortimer's shell, but there's room for Minka. Yes, there's always room for friends, isn't there? Well, we are making it through our COVID. We are battling through slowly, 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 but it's still very important as the world starts to come back to life that we keep our distance, at least for right now. And it's also very important that we do what? Guys, what do we need to remember to do? That's right, we need to remember to washy, 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 and don't forget, washy your hands. The world may be coming back to life, but be careful out there, be safe, and don't forget to join us for story time next week. We will see you. Thank you for joining us today. Take good care.